Good morning, everybody. I hope you're keeping well and that you're managing through this time. Just remember, again, if you do need anything, just do get in touch. Let us know. Midweek is happening tonight, 7:30 via Zoom. And if you haven't got a link for that and you would like to take part in it, please get in touch with me today and I can send you that link. Also, to say we're hoping to do something for our Lighthouse Club young people in the next few days as well. So there'll be something hopefully on Sunday afternoon for Lighthouse Club, and Paula will be in touch with you about that. And also just to say to you as well, as we go through these daily readings in Mark, and we're encouraging you to read Mark's Gospel all the way through, and all of us do this as a church family. Love to hear your response to what you're reading in Mark. So if you want to put something up on the Facebook page under this video, or on the YouTube page, or just send a message or whatever, just to hear how Mark is speaking to you, that would be great. It would be lovely if you would want to share that with the whole church family by putting it on the Facebook page. That would be great. I'm going to read from Mark 1 again, and verses 16 to 20. Passing alongside the Sea of Galilee, he saw Simon and Andrew, the brother of Simon, casting a net into the sea, for they were fishermen. And Jesus said to them, "Follow me, and I will make you become fishers of men." And immediately they left their nets and followed him. Going on a little farther, he saw James, the son of Zebedee, and John, his brother, who were in their boat mending the nets. And immediately he called them, and they left their father Zebedee in the boat with the hired servants and followed him. This is a pretty remarkable episode by any standards. We know that Jesus wasn't a stranger to these four men as he walked along the beach. They knew him, they had seen him around. They were probably disciples of John. In fact, we know from John's Gospel that Andrew, Peter's brother, was a very close disciple of John's, and so we kind of know that he was known to them and they to him probably. But it's still quite a remarkable thing as he walks along the beach and as he sees them going about their work, and he calls them to follow him because he is going to change their lives. They are going to become fishers of men. But it's an example. It's a type of how Jesus works, not just in these disciples' lives, but in all of our lives. Jesus calls us. He calls us to himself. In John's Gospel, he says, "You didn't choose me, I chose you." And really, we can't have a relationship with Jesus unless he calls us into himself, unless he makes that calling on our lives. And when he calls us, and when we respond, it changes everything. Everything in our lives. For these disciples, it changed their relationship with their families. James and John left their father Zebedee in the boat and went off to follow Jesus. It changes their entire career paths, although at times they go back to fishing. We see through the Gospels, in general, their career path has changed, their life has changed. And that's what happens for everybody whenever we follow Jesus. It changes everything in our lives. Tim Keller talks about this in the book King's Cross. And he talks about how the importance of the call on our lives is that whenever we come to know Jesus, everything else takes second place to that. Knowing me, Jesus says, loving me, resembling me, serving me must become the supreme passion of your life. Everything else comes second. Everything else comes second. whenever we enter into a relationship with Jesus. And everything else actually in our lives, or our attitude to everything else, flows from our relationship with Jesus. Our attitude to our family, to our career, to other people, to those who disagree with us, to those who treat us badly. It all flows from Jesus and how he responded. How he responded to family, how he responded to people's desire to make him a king, to how he responded to other people, those in need, and those who were opposed to him. Everything, whenever we start to follow Jesus, everything is to revolve around him. Family, career, relationships, friendships, success, failure. It all should revolve around our relationship with Jesus, because the whole of the cosmos, Paul tells us, revolves around Jesus. So our lives as disciples of his should too. And everything is changed by Jesus. Peter's a great example of that. Peter, the rough, uneducated fisherman, becomes the leader of the church in Jerusalem, becomes an apostle who goes out into the world to tell people all about his friend Jesus, becomes someone who ultimately is prepared to give up his very life for Jesus, dying a martyr's death in Rome. If you could ask Peter now, today, January 2021, if you could ask Peter if he made the right decision that day by Galilee, what do you think he would say? Everything changed for Peter that day. And I guarantee that if you were to ask him, and when we get to ask him, he will say, I wouldn't change a thing, because Jesus has made all the difference in the world to me. That's the Jesus who calls us to be his disciples. He makes all the difference in the world. He changes everything for us. And he gives us life that, like Peter's, will go on and on forever. God bless.